I think every day is a good day, but a day that you get to drive one of your favorite cars of all time on some of your favorite roads is pretty special. Today we're in the 2020 Mercedes AMG GTR Pro. And you know what? I'd really like to thank my friend Omid for letting me take his car today. His Instagram is right here. You know, he's a really long time Mercedes fan. Started off with some of the lower level AMGs, moved up to the AMG GTS. Then he had the GTR for a while, and now he has the AMG GTR Pro, and he hopes that one day he'll be able to get the Mercedes AMG GTR Black Series. Now, what sets this apart from a normal AMG GTR? Well, I'd put it in a couple different categories. I'd definitely say aerodynamics, power, and suspension. Now this has the same twin-turbo V8 that is fitted in the GTR, but really where the differences between that car and this car are in the handling. Now this has a complete, fully adjustable coil-over suspension system that you can customize if you're going to the racetrack or if you're going to do an autocross event. You can customize it really the same way that it would be on a race car. Now, the GTR Pro is based off of the Mercedes AMG GT3 and GT4 platform. So if you were to compare this to, say, a Porsche, for example, this would be the GT3 RS version of the GTC platform or GTS platform. Now, there's a ton of technology in this car. This is a beautiful dash in front of me. It's all digital. I have a bunch of cool different readouts. I can see how much boost I'm using, the horsepower, the torque, what gear I'm in, obviously, the speed, and also a really nice G meter. So if I step on it, I can see how much G's I've just used. Now, right now I'm in race mode, but this car has a ton of different modes that you can drive it in to suit its different styles. So if I press this dial here on the steering wheel, I can put it in Sport Plus, Sport, Comfort. The car is completely different in comfort. Everything is relaxed. This is a Mercedes, and Mercedes is the masters of making a car that's super comfortable, even if it is this race car. I can also put it into individual, so I can customize all the different settings to put, basically, if I want to have, say, a loud exhaust, but I want to have more comfortable setup, I can do it that way. And I can also put it into slippery mode, which increases the traction control, what you would use that, say, if you were caught in the snow or in the ice or in the rain. But because this is a nice sunny day, we're going to keep it in race mode. It's the most fun in race mode. Down here I can press a button. Right now it's these two little gears with the D. If I click it, now I have full manual control of the paddle shifters. And these paddles are great. It gives you a lightning fast response. I mean, this car really is a rocket ship. Now the brakes on this car. So we have carbon ceramic brakes, front and back. The Mercedes AMG GTR did not have carbon ceramics in the back. You have them on this car for that optimal braking performance when you're on the racetrack. Now the gearbox, very easy to use. It hasn't given me a false shift. It shifts exactly when I want it to. Really impressive dual clutch gearbox. Now Mercedes, I think, are the king of interiors. This is such a beautiful layout. All this carbon fiber. There's a yellow notch on the top of the wheel so I can see that my center point. Also these beautiful yellow seat belts, I think, are a really nice touch, the way that Omid spec'd the car out. Really nice leather seats that hold you in with beautiful Alcantara in the center. Now you'll notice the European models have a roll cage in the back that didn't come on the US spec cars for regulations. Also, I can change modes down here on the dash if I want to, but I find it easier to do on the steering wheel. Also on the steering wheel, I can press a button to make the exhaust louder or quieter. I like to keep the exhaust loud because, I mean, this car sounds fantastic. So you'll notice when you give it a hard shift like that and you get to red line, the dash starts to light up red, letting you know that you need to shift gears. So we'll take it on some curvy roads and we'll talk about that awesome suspension. You'll notice also with the styling that the car is a lot more aggressive looking than the GTR, which was already aggressive looking. Now, GTR is not to be confused with Nissan GTR. Our friend Justin will appreciate that one. Now, this car is rear-wheel drive, so it is quite a handful, but you'll notice the electronics keep you in touch. Everything is fine, it keeps you safe. So if you're in a nice sweeper like this car has four-wheel steering, so it gives you the perfect amount of handling regardless of the type of curve that you're in. If you go to a slow curve, you'll see how nimble this car actually is, even though it's pretty big. Now, the power is there. It's got about 585 horsepower. More than enough power for the street. Now, the aerodynamics, this car is super aerodynamic. You have a really aggressive carbon fiber front splitter at the front. That's not adjustable, but there is an adjustable rear spoiler, just like you would have on the race car. So if I'm in traffic and I just stick it into comfort mode, super easy to drive. I click this, shifts gears for me. I'm in full automatic mode. I mean, it's just like driving a normal car. It really is. There's plenty of trunk room in the back, so you theoretically could go on a really nice GT trip with this. I mean, it's a really, really nice car, and it turns a ton of heads. Every single person that I've seen today has been giving me thumbs up. They're looking at the car, they think the car is awesome. I mean, that's really good to see. You know, a lot of times people, maybe they'll be jealous if you're driving a supercar, but I haven't really seen any negativity driving this. I mean, I think people are really, really happy to see this car on the road. I really like the styling of this car. It reminds me of almost the old 300 SL with that fastback styling. I mean, it's I really think Mercedes did a fantastic job with the styling of this car. Now, a couple things maybe that I don't like. The car is pretty big, so I'm a little nervous when I'm parking it and driving it around. I don't want to curb any rims. The front end is really large, so when you first start driving it, it's a little difficult to judge how big the car is, but once you're in it, it actually feels a lot smaller than it actually is, just because of all the tech that's involved with it. You'll notice as you downshift, there's a really nice burble that comes from the exhaust. I don't know if you can hear it on the GoPro, but I mean, it's a good noise. You know, these turbocharged engines are becoming so quick nowadays. There's not really a lot of turbo lag or anything like that. It just builds boosts really, really quickly, and it shoots you out of the curve. It's a very, very impressive platform. You'll notice also the styling. I was talking about that before. There's louvers on the front of this car. So those louvers, basically, if you're on the track, there's a lot of air that builds up in the wheel wells, and that helps disperse the air out of those wheel wells, so it keeps the front end planted. Very helpful to maintain composure with the aerodynamics on the racetrack. Again, you'll notice, so if I go into this curve right here, it's a very, very sharp curve. I can feel the rear wheel steering just allowing me to turn it so effortlessly. It's almost like driving a very small car. Now, Mercedes put a lot of work into this. The entire bottom of the car is carbon fiber to be as aerodynamic as possible. There's also a carbon fiber torsion bar underneath, and the wishbone components are much stronger than they are on the GTR, and again, that allows you to have better handling on the racetrack. Now, a lot of times I talk about how much I love manual transmissions. Well, honestly, I haven't even been thinking about a manual transmission. This car is so fun to drive, the handling is fantastic, the gearbox is amazing. So I want to thank my friend Omid again for letting me take this amazing GT3 race car on the road. I mean, it's an incredible car, an incredible piece of engineering. Hats off to Mercedes. Hats off to my friend. I'm almost lost for words at the performance of this car and how easy it is to drive. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.